So here's tonight's agenda. Can everybody see that? Thumbs up. You can see it. Great, awesome. So we have Principal Len with us tonight. Just going to share some updates on the school front. We have Jess from SAC's Tech Committee who's going to tell us a little bit about what they've been up to. Um, Tonight we have a little bit of PTA business to do. We do have a budget amendment to put to a vote to our members. A little more about that in a bit. And tonight we're also going to be electing our nomination committee, who is going to help do some outreach and some recruiting leading up to our May meeting. Um, and then we get to talk about all the fun stuff that's going to be coming up this spring. Because I, for one, definitely need some bright spots to look forward to, and that's a big part of the reason why I joined the PTA, and I love working with all of you guys to build those bright spots together and to do good things for our kids and for our school. So that's why we're here. And then we will talk about just the ways you can get involved this spring, and then we'll open it up for announcements, open floor, and then we have our raffle. Um, so does that sound good to everybody? All right. Principal Len, would you like to take it away?
Yes, happy to take it away. I am also going to um, put a link to these notes in the chat so that you can follow along, or if you want to come back to them reference later to reference anything. I know there's some dates that are in here, or if you have questions later on that you want to circle back to with me at another time, you can do that. So I'm going to jump right in. Happy to also answer questions as they come up. I did start at the top, um, just recapping a few of the ways that the PTA has really been a huge support to us this year. This is only scratching the surface. Just wanted to recognize the thoughtful staff appreciation event in February. I know that was needed at that time, bright spot in the middle of the winter. The school supply support has been a tremendous ongoing support that we don't need to continually purchase or ask uh, parents or teachers or staff to bring in their own basic supplies such as wipes, tissues, paper towels, pencils, etc. So that's been really helpful to have that as an ongoing delivery from the PTA. Of course, many of the acts of service that PTA provides, including our MLK Day service, was successful. There were a number of projects that happened, as well as some donations and social justice projects that happened. And that also included a clean out and organization of the library space, which is in the launch pad. And then, of course, just financial support to a number of different activities and projects and materials that teachers need throughout the year that they might be using for special mini grants or activities that they're doing in their room. I know that we want to send a special thank you for funding some Chromebook carts, charging carts, which came in recently, and also a new refrigerator that is arriving tomorrow that we use on behalf of the school for different student activities when we need to refrigerate things. So wanted to start out by acknowledging and recapping some of the ways that we've been partnering with you all this year. Um, and of course, our many events coming up in the spring, which I'm sure Kim will talk about later. Then we have some general school updates here. So there have been a lot going on, both the school specifically, but also the district in general. I linked in here the agenda, or I guess, schedule of all of the sessions offered through the newly opened or reopened Parent and Family University. If you haven't checked it out yet, I recommend bookmarking this page or checking this page out. There are a lot of there's a wide variety of sessions for parents, some of which I think would be interesting to our families given questions that I get. I know just based on what's currently coming up in March, there's a session on understanding school budgets that's beyond just our particular school, but how budgeting happens across the district and where different funding sources come from. Um, that might be interesting to families. Also, a session that will be pretty similar to our January Family Forum, but if you were unable to attend that, there's a session on understanding your child's assessments, PSSA, STAR tests, different district and state level assessments that they take. And then there's also monthly sessions on a variety of topics offered by the Office of Diverse Learners, which mostly focus on students who are in our special education programming, have IEPs. And I know there's been a request for more education on those topics. So, sorry, did someone have a question? No. All right, let me move on to the second bullet. If you have been following along to the recent board meeting, and I believe Dr. Watlington actually set out an update to all families today as well, that the school calendar for June of this year and also for all of next year has been revised to eliminate half days. So the half days that are in the schedule for March, April, and May of this year will remain. But the two half days that were scheduled for the last 2 days of school for this school year are now one full day for students, which is on June 11th. So that's no longer a half day, that's a full day for students, and that's also their last day. And then June 12th will be a full staff in service or PD day. Um, so essentially just combining those half days to have one full day of school for students and one in-service day for teachers. So that's the only change for this year. There are some changes to next year's calendar so that all half days are eliminated from the calendar, and all those updates can be, I believe, now found on the school district website if you want to check out the updated calendars. Also at the board meeting, Dr. Watlington presented his Accelerating Opportunity Facilities Plan to the Board of Education for them to review. There was no vote on this yet, but you can view all of the recommendations at the link in these updates, including school by school recommendations. There's not a ton of information in there for Henry. We don't really have a lot of information yet on what kind of building upgrades we would be getting if the proposed funding came through. But there are no recommended changes to our grade configuration, our catchment area. We're not recommended to combine with any other schools, receive students from any potentially closing schools, or to, of course, close ourselves or to move to a different location. So not really a whole lot in here that impacts our specific school at this time. But there are definitely a number of changes that will impact the district as a whole if the plan is adopted. Next, in January, we launched a mutual aid program. I did put some notification out about that on Class Dojo. There were some flyers that came home. I'll actually be doing some more reminders about the program in the upcoming week or two. We have begun to give out some aid to families who are in need, and so we're of course looking to replenish our stock that we have, our initial donations that came in right around MLK Day. So if you are willing and able, we are accepting gift cards, either brought to the school or emailed to, I believe, the treasurer at cwhenrypta.org is the best place to send any electronic gift cards. So that's all on the linked flyer that's in the updates. The next, all right, give me, honey, I'm presenting something. Give me just 1 second, okay? Sorry. This is what happens when you don't go to Henry to do your meetings. The point I was on. So we are, I'm shared, and I also shared this information on Class Dojo, but wanted to reshare information from the district website, resources that the district has provided to support immigrant families, and have more information on how the district and the school will maintain safe school spaces during time of increased immigration enforcement. I know there's been a lot of conversation and start of action in our own community, both at the school and through parents and community members of Henry, and also in the Northwest region as a whole. So this is a very in progress work. And so I'm looking forward to having the work that we're doing as a school connect more closely with the work of parents and community members that's happening outside of school to make sure that not only Henry, but all of our schools in the Northwest region are safe spaces for all of our kids and families. Uh, Speaking of the work in the launch pad that happened on MLK Day, one of our goals in doing that work is to set up a system of biweekly story time with different volunteer readers and book checkout time for our students in grades kindergarten through third grade. So we're very close to launching this. It's just a matter of doing a final organization and training of our volunteers. We have the books set up for checkout, and we're hoping to launch this in the coming month so that we can do a trial run from now until the end of the year, and then get any feedback or make any changes we need to so that we can do the program more fully starting next school year. All right, moving on to the second page. Our school budgets should be coming out sometime within like a week, probably next week at some point. This, as always, will include information on the staff that will be allocated for next year, which is primarily based on our enrollment and any discretionary funds that we'll receive. There's two primary ways for families to give their input. At this point, there is a budget and priority survey that I sent out. I believe Kim said she was going to be able to drop that in the chat tonight if anyone wants to fill that out this evening. And then there will be a virtual meeting next Monday. I am just realizing I might need to push that back. So stay tuned for that. We were supposed to definitely have the budget numbers by this week, but I've been told that might not happen. And I always like to have the numbers to actually present to families when we do our virtual meeting. So the meeting will happen. I'm just not 100% sure if it'll be March 9th, but I will confirm for everyone. I do know that this year there is the COVID funding that was kind of decreasing over all of the previous years is fully gone. I can't talk to you right now. Okay, give me just a minute. I'm sorry, everyone. Give me just 1 second.
We need some elevator music.
I'm so sorry. I'm back. Here we are. Okay. I was talking about enrollments, I believe, and thank you, Ihoma, for jumping in there. So I was talking about COVID funds. So we will be not getting any more of those funds this upcoming year. All schools have been told that those funds are gone. We got a fraction of them last year. They've slowly been titrating over the past few years since the pandemic ended, and now they are officially gone. I think one positive sign is that our enrollment has continued to increase. I provided a little chart there that shows the increase in number of students at Henry. Some of our funding is tied to the number of students that we have in the building. And so that at least promises that that funding formula will remain at the same level, if not higher, as it was this year. And then kindergarten registration is open. We just had a great kindergarten open house this past week. Thank you, Homa, for being there and representing the PTA at that event. And then we will have another one on May 12th, also in the morning at 9:15. At this time, the only families we've taken off of the wait list for the school selection lottery for kindergarten have been sibling families. I don't know if we'll be accepting any additional families for kindergarten from out of catchment. It'll really depend on what our numbers look like as we head into the summer from in catchment enrollment. And then the final bullet point I have is just a plug for our upcoming family forum, which is in a couple of weeks. That will be with Karen White. She was with us last year as well. She's our special education director for the whole Network 6, the Northwest region. And she's a great resource who can answer any questions that you might have about special education. And then I put a few of our upcoming calendar events at the bottom, up through spring break and PSSA. I didn't include all the end of year events, but I'll give those at the next PTA meeting.
Principal, and there was a question or a comment really. Someone was interested in volunteering with the launch pad, the library checkout. If anyone's interested in that, should they reach out to Miss Lou about clearances or reach out to you?
I would say reach out to me. Okay. Yes. I think that they, yes, I would say reach out to me. I think that right now we're building a stockpile. Stockpile is the wrong word. We're building a backup list of people who might be able to come in and volunteer during the time when we have availability for readers. I think the initial list is set from volunteer readers who are already partnering with the school. We had a number of longtime volunteers who had been coming kind of sporadically throughout the day. So the goal was to work with those volunteers initially and try to organize the time that they come in so it more aligns with the time that we have available for students to actually go into the library space and do a story time and check out books. And I believe that almost all the spots are filled at the moment from those volunteers, those established volunteers. That being said, there's always room for additional folks, or I'm sure there's going to be time when people can't make it. So if you are interested, reaching out to me would be great, and I can connect you with the right people.
Great.
And I'm just seeing I missed a lot of stuff in the chat while I was talking.
I think people were just, feeling like your
principals
your
just
parenting
like
is
us.
very relatable. You're just like us, Principal Lynn.
Great.
Any questions for Principal Lynn before she has to jump off to be with our kids and put out that fire behind her? No questions? Feel free to jump off mute. All
Mark,
right.
I'll bring Pictionary AI to the next in-person meeting. You can check it out.
Only one AI.
Good question. Good question.
Just one.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Principal
Yes,
Lynn,
thank you. You know where to find me if anyone has questions that come up after the meeting. But thank you for inviting me.
Bye.
All
Have a
right.
good
Have a good
night.
evening. Bye.
Thank you. Great. All righty. Moving right along. I see we have Jess and we also have Orion, I see from our friends from SAC. Orion, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have anything you'd like to share from SAC, I know Jess wanted to share some tech committee updates. I'll let you both take it. Take it away.
I don't. Hi, everyone. Number one, I missed our most recent SAC meeting because I was not feeling well. So I'm gonna let. I'm sorry, there's a lot going on in the house. Um, I'm gonna let Jess talk because I know Jess was on that call, but I did want to come off mute really quick just to say hi to everyone.
Are
But
you feeling
I'll let.
better?
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I'm getting there.
Okay,
But yeah, so I'll let Jess take it away.
sounds
We
good.
missed you. It's good to see you. I know we have to get used to this. Um, so I hadn't planned too much for SAC updates, but because we've been partnering with some other groups, so I know a lot of you are on here, and Principal Len mentioned some stuff. But for tech, I figured I'd give you an update. For those who don't know, we're a group of parents that formed because of concerns over the role that technology really broadly was playing in our kids' lives. We partnered with the PTA last year for the Let's Talk About Tech Baby event. We covered everything from Chromebooks, cell phones, and submitted recommendations to the school about things like not using Chromebooks as incentives, and really just wanting to understand better how technology was being used as a tool in the classroom really thoughtfully. So coming up, we are going to do a version of that. Let's talk about Tech Baby for the teachers. We're doing a professional development in April. We're pumped about. Some of you might have also come. We hosted some tech talk coffee hours. We do still have some more books from this. If anybody wants a copy of The Anxious Generation, I'll put my email in the chat. So we have a few more of these, and we are going to have some reading groups starting back up again in the spring. We're also kind of bouncing around some ideas, probably not this year, but hoping for the future to do some kind of upper school retreat without phones. We know that the district partners with Peak and Seek, and they're both like weekend getaways in the Poconos where kids can do. That book is terrifying. I agree. Getaways where they can have like experience phone-free weekends, and so we're thinking more of we're kind of focusing on curriculum as we are in the SAC. So SAC's always thinking a little bit about curriculum and how we can participate in those conversations. Crescent, who some of you may know, has been working really closely with PA Unplugged, which is just a statewide group doing this organizing all over. Can we do that retreat for parents? Yes, let's get it together. Sorry, I need to keep my eye off the chat because I won't be able to focus. This is why technology is really bad for me in Zoom meetings. But I'm going to put a link for PA Unplugged here. They're doing a survey, which I think is going to help determine some of the direction that they go in. Apparently, they met with Governor Shapiro recently, and he was really interested. I think he was real receptive to the mission and the values of PA Unplugged, which is really just trying to limit technology use for our kids. I think that you can expect to see more content that we're going to be funneling out from PA Unplugged because they've got it all together, that just with like knowledge about technology and tips and things like that. Oh, we're also getting together a wiki page for families at Henry, just like common questions about how to limit things on tech or how to handle, like I know a lot of us who are getting ready. I mean, some of us struggle with the Chromebooks at home or limiting tech use at home, like all the different apps and the new phones and things like that and how things work. Like I know I myself, I don't know how anything works. Um, so if you have any questions about that, I put my email in the chat. We're always looking to grow. We meet about like once or twice a month, and we meet at Mount Airy Tap Room, if that sounds good to y'all.
Thanks, Jess. Any questions for Jess? No? Thanks for all the good work that you're doing. And looking forward to those events this spring. And hi to everyone jumping on. Moving right along. We have a budget amendment vote to put to our members. And I'm gonna hand it over to Ioma to tell you a little bit about that.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to give you as much information that I know about it. Um, it is a brainchild from Miss Caterini and Mr. Richardson, I think, along with Davita. Davita, please correct me if I'm wrong. They're thinking about bringing a pickleball fundraising tournament, for the adults, I think. And we trying to do a event for the event. The cost will be around $1,000, and we wanted to vote on a budget amendment for the fundraising committee to give the money towards this pickleball event. It will be the first of its kind, where you can learn how to play pickleball, form teams. There'll be light refreshments. Participants can join in. You can even bring your own team. The scheduled date will be in April.
Yoma, can I share a little more?
Yes, please.
Kind of shifting. So for this very first pickleball event, we're looking for it to be primarily like a community builder. There will be a fundraising element to it. We are just looking for a fun way to engage the community, expose people to a new sport, which we know is having growing interest in the community. We are looking at a date in late April. And we are looking for funding. Most of the funding that we would need would be recouped with sponsorships that we're working on getting to support it, and with ticket prices that will be fairly reasonable. But we'll find a way to balance those costs. So I just wanted to share that information.
Great. So should we bring this up for a vote to approve for the $1,000 for this pickleball event? All that agree, I guess type yay in the chat. Or should there be a second? No, yeah.
We'll get a motion.
A
We'll get
motion
and then a
to.
second, and then we'll take it to a vote. All right, I have a
We have a
motion.
motion.
We have several seconds. Let's take it. This is rapid. It's happening fast, people. All right, let's take it to the vote. Drop it in the chat. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to this. Ms. Cannerini, did you want to say anything about this event that I know you're involved in helping to plan, bring to fruition?
I just want to say thanks to Miss DeVita. It was sort of like an idea, and Miss DeVita's made it into a reality. And I do think that it's going to be a really fun event for folks. And I think that it's going to be an opportunity for our kids, our upper school kids too, are going to be invited for a reduced rate so they can come and try out a new sport, as Miss DeVita said. And we're going to have a dedicated court for sponsors, so they are more likely to mingle. And I think we'd like to maybe try to do it every year in the winter months when people are looking for something to do, when it's really cold. But it's a great opportunity, and I so appreciate her work and everybody's support.
Great. Sounds fun. All right, well, moving right along. One of our other bits of business for tonight is to elect our PTA nomination committee. So the nomination committee is a group of folks who are going to be helping to connect with folks over the next couple of months and bring a slate of nominees to the membership for a vote at our May meeting, our May 13th general meeting. So we're going to elect those folks tonight. We have a couple of people who have stepped forward for that. And the committee itself, just giving you a little bit of info from our bylaws, the committee itself elects their own chair of the nomination committee. And they will, according to our bylaws, they put this slate of nominees out to everyone a month before our meeting. And at the May meeting, nominations can also come from the floor at the meeting. So just a little bit of background on the procedure for all of this. So at our May 13th meeting, members will vote, and we'd love for you all to be a part of helping us elect our board next year. If not, consider helping out in a board role or committee chair capacity. So I wanted to just share the names of our nominees for the nomination committee who have stepped forward. So those folks are Davita Washington. We have Susanna Erminska here tonight. We have Miss Jenny Laboon. And I was not sure, Miss Davita, if Miss Tice is going to be joining. Do you?
She did have an interest. She said that she would help.
Awesome. Okay, so we have 4 folks who are coming forward. So, per our bylaws, we have to vote for that nomination committee. So, do I have a motion to approve the slate of nominees for our nomination committee? So, Davita, Susanna, Jenny, and Miss Tice. We've got it. All right, having rapid fire here. First and a second, and can we take it to a vote? Please drop it in the chat. Thank you all so much. Wonderful. And thank you all to the folks on our nomination committee for doing this important work. Davita, can I pass it over to you to just share a little bit about the positions that we're going to be looking to fill this year?
Hey, Kim. I don't have the email pulled up, but give me a moment.
Okay.
I know we have a few positions that we are looking to fill. I'm going to try and remember some off the top of my head. I know we're looking for a co-president, maybe as because Kim, you'll be transitioning next year. I am looking for another fundraising co-chair to help me with some of these fun events that we're planning. We're looking for some co-chairs to help with our garden as we're in a time of transition there. We are looking for another membership co-chair. And Kim, if you can chime in, I think I remember you saying something about maybe adding a little more to that role, membership
Yep.
and involvement.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to drop it into the chat too, just so everyone can see the list here.
We also are looking for one that's been a little trickier to fill in the past as an alumni representative. So we would love to connect with someone who went to Henry and is looking to come back and reconnect us with that community group. And I believe there are beautification. There are a few others. We do have a few roles to fill, but we're excited to bring in some new people and excited to do even more next year.
Awesome.
And did I say in the chat that we may have an alumni potential? Awesome.
Yeah, there's such an amazing alumni community out there. And I know that there are folks who, Henry has a special place in their heart. And I know that they would love to come back. And I mean, there are groups who, meet on their own, but we've been thinking about ways to kind of bring them into the school and connect them with Principal Len and do more special events. So yeah, so there's the list. And so our folks on the nomination committee over the next couple of months are going to be having conversations. We're going to be doing some special outreach events. But if anyone here tonight is interested in any of those roles, please, reach out to us, let us know. I wanted to talk about a little, I'll just mention it and I'll pass it over to the folks who are helping to plan this event, but we have a fun event coming up, not this Friday, but next Friday, March 13th. We're having a special Hawk to Hawk volunteer mixer event. And it's kind of like speed dating for the PTA, but kind of not. But I'll hand it over to Jenny and Megan and Ioma to just tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, everyone. So the event is on the 13th. It's going to be at Mount Airy Axis, and it will be from 6:30 to 8:30. We will have food there, and kids are welcome. And yeah, it's going to be kind of like in the speed dating format, except for finding a partner, you're just going to be finding a committee. So it'll just be a couple of points that you can see if you're a match, qualities that might match you up with a good committee. And we're hoping it will be a lot of fun. So please try and attend if you can and encourage your friends to make it as well. We're always looking for new members.
And there'll be food and beverages for everyone.
And drinks, not like
Yes.
iced tea, like drinks. Right?
Yes, definitely all of those things. So yeah, and if you can't make it to that event, but want to talk a little bit more, please feel free to reach out and let us know. We have a lot of other really fun events coming up this spring, and thinking about, the lower school dance, thinking about Hawkshin, thinking about the Quizzo night. These are the things that have kind of, they've been the bright spots that I've been looking forward to during this long, cold winter. So I'm so happy that they are just around the corner. And I guess maybe we can just kind of pass this around. I know there are a lot of folks who are helping to organize these events are here tonight, but maybe we could just go through these, and if anyone wants to say a word about them. And I know Jenny is primed and ready to drop some links into the chat for different ways to sign up to help out, because all of these events, they only happen with the help of volunteers. So we'll be sure to drop those in the chat. So, and yes, Amy, we're definitely going to talk about the book fair. So first up, I think coming up is the Upper School Roller Social. Davida, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes, I can. We have the Upper School Roller Social coming up this month on the 19th. This is, I believe, our third year holding this event. And it's been popular. It's been growing in popularity as the time has gone along. It's free for upper school students. We're offering it free to Henry staff. And then it's $5 per person for family members and any other student at Henry in a lower grade, like a sibling. We are looking for some chaperones if you have any interest in being a chaperone at the event. We are going to try and add some other elements for kids who maybe don't want to roller skate the whole time. We're going to have like some trivia, some opportunity to do a raffle basket, maybe keep some cards and Uno stuff on the table. We're just hoping it will be a fun upper school event.
Awesome. That is always such a fun event. And my fingers are crossed that we have the same DJ that we had last year, because he was amazing. Next up, then we have on March 22nd, we have the No Ice Northwest Schools event. Bethany, Blythe, Jenny, does anyone want to say anything about that? We're going to drop the registration link in the chat too.
Okay, sorry. Blythe was just, oh, do you want to go, Blythe? You go.
I was gonna wait. I was trying to wait it out.
You go.
Okay. Yes, we are planning a cross-school event in collaboration with Northwest Philly No Ice group, which is kind of one of these decentralized signal groups that's been doing a lot of the bystander trainings that are happening. And Henry Parent is Andrea, many of you know, is really active in that. So sorry, I'm tired. We're doing it at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Germantown, and it's a awesome space. It can hold like 300 people. 44 people are registered already across 3 schools, and we haven't really started pushing out the flyer yet. So I feel like we're on our way to getting some good attendance. We have plans to do some flyering outside of schools if anyone is interested in helping out. Um, we've got all these great sponsors, Art Haywood, Nick and O'Rourke, Kendra Brooks, Power. We're in a little bit of a childcare logistics crisis, but we're going to figure it out. And yeah, it's going to be great. And it's also, we've never done anything like it before. But the goal of the event is to try to support schools to get sanctuary teams off the ground, like we're doing in Henry, that Houston's got one, Roosevelt's got one. So that's the intention, to plant the seed and provide some resources and basic know your rights. Did I miss anything, Bethany?
Yeah, and I'd just say like build networks of support across schools too, so that we're really our goal is to connect with as many schools in the Northwest as possible, as part of the coalition, to just really keep expanding that so that it is truly reflective of our whole Northwest community. So
Awesome. I just want to give a shout out to Bethany and Blythe, who are co-chairs of our advocacy committee. They've been doing an amazing job building this coalition over the last couple of years, and just so happy to see this really coming to fruition this year. I feel like this event and the other events that you guys have planned this year are really, they've been a long time in the making, and it's just so awesome to see it happening. So thank you for all that work. We mentioned the spring book fair. It is coming March 23rd to the 27th. We've got the link to sign up in the chat. Amy, Ioma, any words, any highlights?
Not so much highlights. It is our book fair. It is, in my opinion, like just a really great way for parents, for family members to come in both as shoppers but also as volunteers during the day. If you are able to come and volunteer during the day, we need the help. And you really get to see how the school is on a mostly typical day. And you get to watch all of the classes go through, and it's really fun. It's a great way to meet other parents and embarrass your children as they go through, which is, I've been doing it for so many years now, and we're a pretty well-oiled machine, but because we have lots of volunteers. So please, please, please sign up. And if you don't, I'm gonna look at you weird. Did I end on a low note? I ended on a low note.
No, you'll
Sorry.
have a chance to also, if you volunteer, you'll stand a better chance of preventing your child from purchasing a fuzzy diary or journal. So that's a
Yeah,
perk too of
that's good.
volunteering.
That's
Um,
meaningful,
if you
honestly.
don't want your child to come home with a fuzzy journal, volunteer.
Yeah,
Um,
my children
also,
have never come home with a fuzzy journal. They don't even ask. Great.
awesome. We mentioned the pickleball event, which will be happening in April. More details coming about that soon. Um, the lower school spring dance, which just always fills me with such joy. It's happening May 1st. Catherine, you want to say anything about that?
Sure. So it's May 1st, hopefully, unless it rains, in which case it'll be May 8th. It'll be very similar to last time, but we're looking to make it maybe a little bit better. If you're interested in being part of that planning process, let me know. I'll put my email in the chat, but just send me an email. We're going to have a planning committee meeting tomorrow, but if you can't make that, I can just catch you up later. And then after spring break, keep an eye out for ticket sales and the actual volunteering for the event list. But yeah, I hope everyone can come, and it'll be a good event.
It always is. And the lower school dance is also when the bidding opens for the auction, our online fundraiser auction, which is now in its third year, I think. Third year? Is that right? Time flies. But we have a group that is at work now as we speak, uh, scouring the city, the region for exciting prizes for the auction, and they would love your help. So if you know business owners, you have some great ideas for prizes, please feel free to reach out to Shannon Ryan. She is helping to wrangle all those prizes.
Kim,
And
a little.
yeah, Davida, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so this year we are definitely actively seeking different prizes. We're looking for cool experiences and we're open to any sort of creative idea. We are going to this year try and see if we can get some cool experiences for children at the school. But if you know of anyone in the community who maybe be able to offer something cool like a tour of somewhere or party services. We're just trying to think outside the box to make our offerings all the more appealing this year. We're also trying to spread the word. We often have similar people bidding. We want to get the word out as widely as we can. We're thinking of maybe seeing if we can get a shuttle ad, but share widely, share with people that the auction is happening again, and there'll be some exciting offerings for you to bid on.
Awesome. And just want to respond directly to Mark that no, cats that start meowing at 4:40 every morning does not count as a cool experience. Moving right along, we have Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week coming up as well in May. It's going to be here before we know it. And Leisha, who has been doing a really lovely job of coordinating our teacher and staff appreciation events so far this year, would love some help with that. That week, there's like a whole week of things that we help support. And I know that M. Huntsberger is also on the call too, grade reps coordinator. And I know that she's working with folks to do some fun things to show our appreciation that week as well. So if anyone would like to help out with that, I will drop Alicia's name in the chat because I don't think I put that out there already. After that, we have Adult Quizzo coming up. Megan, do you want to say anything about that?
Sure. So we are going to have our annual Adult Quizzo night on May 9th, Saturday. And we're looking to host it again at the Mount Airy Art Garage. It's a really like cool kind of intimate space. It's got a little stage, and I think we were able to fit everyone in last year. We have room for more to join as well, and it's it's the sound is really good in that room, and I think it's a smaller space for the group. So anyway, we're going to be doing that on May 9th, and also we'll be announcing the auction winners at that event. And for those who aren't there, of course, we'll follow up with all the winners. And we're looking forward to another fun evening of Quizzo.
Awesome.
Ticket sales will probably start in a couple weeks. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Nate's mustache is always a really amazing feature of the Quizzo, so I can't wait to see what that looks like this year.
Totally.
We have more events even scheduled out for the rest of the year. I'm going to keep going. I know this is like overload at this point, but we're in May. Let's just keep going. Like we mentioned, we have our general meeting happening in May 13th. Davita's working on an ice cream social at Scoopful Delights. That's amazing. On the 22nd, is that right, Davita? Awesome. More details coming out about that. And then the Spring Festival, another amazing highlight of the year. I don't know, Kristen, if you want to pop off and say anything. There's always, we need a lot of hands that day to make the Spring Festival happen. So if you are able to block that date off on your calendar and come and help out, it's such a fun day to see all the kids just having so much fun. Kristen, do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, we will need lots of volunteers for the actual day of, and then Alicia and I are still going to be kind of the point people for the event this year, and we are going to be sourcing a few things out to other people if anyone's interested here.
someone to take on the raffle baskets, someone who'd be interested in coming up with some new kind of games and activities for upper school in particular, and the food. And Jenny did it last year. I'm not going to put you on the spot, Jenny, but if you still want to do it, I won't put it out there to the whole group. But if you don't want to do it, that may be another thing that we need help coordinating ahead of time. So, but otherwise, yeah, we're going to get started on planning very soon. So, yeah.
Awesome. And I think I missed the fact that I think we will have another advocacy field trip to Harrisburg. Is that right? Blythe and Bethany?
Yeah, we're still looking for a group to partner with on it, but we might, was the date May 6th maybe?
May
It might
6th.
be May 6th, but to be determined.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for that. Ms. Cannerini?
Yeah, I just wanted to say if you can get me information, I can give it out to the class. If you need students, of course, they'd have to have a parent who is going too. I just can't do it myself while I'm teaching.
Yeah, great. I know Miss Len was great last time, has been great about like making it an excused absence. So hopefully we can keep that going.
And I think that the garden committee is also working on planning some spring garden days because we're going to be getting our seedlings soon from PHS. Christina, I don't know if you want to pop off and say anything briefly about that. I know that we haven't set any dates or anything yet, but
Yeah, so we're gonna be getting some seedlings. It's gonna be very exciting for anybody who's wanting to get those spring vibes in. And Erin mentioned that we always have extra seedlings. So if there's anybody who is kind of thinking about their own garden, it can be a nice opportunity to do a little bit of service and then take home some plants to plant in their own space as well.
awesome. So yeah, so lots, lots going on. Lots of good things to look forward to this spring. Just want to pause there and see if anyone wants to ask any questions about any of that. Add anything else. Please feel free to like jump off of mute. All right. So we're on. Oh, Susanna, yes, please share an update.
Okay, sorry, that took me a long time to unmute. I don't know if this is still like after hearing that whole amazing slate of events, I'm like, whoa, a lot going on. But Kim, you were on an email exchange that I just wanted to give a quick update about, which is that I had this idea of another activity that we would do in the spring that would kind of be these like spring care kits that would live at the school and staff and students could help themselves. And I emailed with Miss Len and also the school nurse, and they gave me suggestions for stuff. So I can do like more of a write up and maybe share it over email to the larger group. Um, so that it's, something that people can see if we want to move forward on. But I think it would be pretty quick in terms of just like doing like the packing of it. I think the thing that I don't really understand is like how we would handle doing the purchasing of the materials, which would be pretty low cost. Um, so yeah, I don't know if people want to get more information now or if we should just check in once I send out that one pager.
Yeah, this was a really nice idea that Susanna had to like just put together some care kits for families just with some items that might be helpful. Just, noting that some families, this has been a tough year for many families. And so she reached out to Principal Len and to the nurse, like she said. And so maybe what we'll do, Susanna, is like figure out the logistics for that, and then maybe we can put it out to the community and see if anybody can help with, if we need help like assembling them and that kind of thing. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I love that idea. And I didn't know if there was like community service hours that like, I don't know, eighth graders would want to do with their caregivers. I'm open, I'm kind of newer to some of this stuff, so happy to see if we can move it forward this spring. Otherwise, it is definitely an evergreen idea. So we can just think about best next steps.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice idea. Alrighty. I'll open it up if anybody else has any announcements they'd like to share with everyone. I see a hand.
Hey, I have some kids in the background who may be doing what Miss Len's kids did in a second. But I was just curious with all the upcoming events. We attempted to do a launch of the Henry Hangs, which was kind of a sub initiative of the grade reps to encourage any parent or caregiver across the school who wanted to host a gathering that would be open to all other families in their child's grade. And we had a few bites, but then I think weather really just put a damper on things, and it's just a little bit more difficult to find um, free and centrally located indoor spaces to host things. And we're kind of, we're already in March, and I've been thinking about um, how we could maybe try to do one other push for the end of the year. But as I'm hearing all of the PTA events on the calendar, I'd be curious, and maybe this is something we can think about too at post this meeting, but maybe there's a handful of the upcoming PTA events, and then we can ask families, hey, would you want to be kind of a host so that a group of families can meet up at this event and have somebody to talk to and kind of, kind of more, invite people to not have to think up a whole Henry Hang for their grade, but just be more of a greeter gatherer for other caregivers in their grade for these PTA events. And I'm sure there'd be a few of them that would work better for that than others. But this is just kind of a thought that is coming to mind. So wanted to put that out there, and we don't have to, come up with what events those are at this moment. But if anybody likes that idea or thinks certain events might work well with that, please let me know.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Em. I know there were some folks, some kindergarten families who, for the MLK Day event, they kind of, organized a little activity and kind of put the word out to kindergarten families and, kind of piggybacked on the MLK Day event. So I think that's a great idea. You don't need to like necessarily do a whole other thing unless you want to, but that's a great idea. But like Em said, there is some money in the budget, in the PTA budget this year to help support those hangs, those grade level hangs if you want to get some refreshments or something like that. So there is some funding available there if you want to hang out with other caregivers from your kids' grades. Anything else? Anybody else want to mention anything?
This is Blythe. Can I mention one other update? I don't know if folks remember, I think it was last year, we wrote a letter of support for the group Lift Every Voice that was working on a wellness policy. In case anyone hasn't seen it, the board adopted their wellness policy and they won. So it's like a nice little, well, it's not little, it's a big deal. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to it in the chat if anyone wants to read that.
Thanks for sharing that update. Anybody else? All right. If there aren't any other announcements or things to share, we can go ahead and pick our raffle winner. Jenny, are you ready for that?
I am ready. You know, it's really serious. And if you saw me looking distracted, it's because I
Can't get any
wanted to make it
ruffle.
fair. I made little